A typical pattern in using browsers is starting the browser and opening several favorite pages from the very beginning. For example, let's say I want to open /dot, this one, and Facebook. So I did that by pressing Ctrl+T and then clicking the picture on the Opera dial widget. There's a different way to do that as well. For example, let's say I want to see this one. I click it, then I click the New Tab button, then I make another click. If you noticed, it takes a lot less time to do this with the keyboard because it's just a matter of pressing Ctrl+T and then making a click on the pictogram that we need. In addition to that, Opera also assigns a hotkey to each page. For example, in this case, it's Ctrl+6. In this case, for /dot, it's Ctrl+5. So I can press Ctrl+5, Ctrl+T, Ctrl+6, and so on. So this way I can open multiple pages. If you compare these approaches, the keyboard approach is much faster because it takes less time, but it requires a keyboard. In contrast, if I happen to be using a purely mouse-driven interface, let's say I'm watching the TV and I'm in front of the couch and I only have the mouse by my side and the keyboard is on the desk, how can I browse the web conveniently without relying on the keyboard? In the case of Opera, it's one click, then I have to go all the way to the picture I need, make that click, then I have to go back to the New Tab button, then go all the way to the new picture, click it, and so on. In other words, you can notice that if you use a mouse-driven approach, Opera is not very friendly. If you use just keyboard for navigation, it's great. Let's see how other browsers do that. Chrome is one example. So I make the click. It loads the page with the most visited sites. I can right-click and choose Open Link in New Tab. I can right-click, open a new tab. And the same thing here. In other words, with Chrome, it's much easier for us if we rely exclusively on the mouse, because there is less work to be done. The moment I do the right click, I only have to go a couple of pixels to the right, and then there's the second click which gets me what I want. In contrast, Opera makes me go a long way before I reach my destination. Let's see how Chrome deals with purely keyboard-based navigation. If I press Ctrl+T, I can click, then Ctrl+T, then another click. But if you notice, it doesn't do what Opera does. It doesn't assign a hotkey to one specific page in this window. So Ctrl+1, Ctrl+2, Ctrl+3, which works in Opera, doesn't work in Chrome. So Chrome is friendlier if you use a purely mouse-driven navigation approach. And it's pretty not bad when it comes to keyboards, but not as efficient as Opera. Firefox, well, Firefox is a different thing. If you use a purely mouse-driven navigation approach, there is nothing you can do. It doesn't have a speed dial thing like Opera does. So the only thing you can do is either type the address and go there, or you can try to rely on the list of recently accessed pages. But what if your page is not there? In that case, you are out of luck. So from this perspective, Firefox is, in my opinion, the least friendly browser. So is there anything we can do to improve Opera. I believe we can do something, and that is extend the right-click menu with an open a new tab or open in a new window option. This way it can be just as friendly as Chrome when it comes to using just mice for navigation. As for the rest, it's great as it is.